me say a big welcome to everybody. Well, if you're tuned in, this is 3Music TV special show, we call it. It only happens during the award season. This is the 3Music Awards Diaries, where we get to go deeper into the categories and the nominations and, you know, the artists' engagement throughout the whole year, exactly what even qualified them to enter the space as well. Welcome to the show. My name is Jay Foley. We have a whole lot to discuss on the 3Music Awards Diary, so sit back, relax, and get ready as the conversation shifts into second gear. Welcome back. Now, where do you lean towards, especially when you have a category where the song is so powerful that it competes with the brand, that's the artist himself or herself? Where do you lean towards? How do you even vote? How do you even determine what triggers you to even vote, especially for categories like Afrobeat, Afropop Song of the Year, where the songs are heavily represented by the artists and equally the artists are also heavily represented by the songs? Well, today on the show, on our 3Music Awards Diaries, I'm not here alone. Let me first introduce my guests who are joining me in this conversation about, you know, the product superiority over artist brand persona. And I'm honored to have Seven Xavier and the man NYB join me on the show. How are you doing, gentlemen?
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. How did you feel after nominees generally? The nominees, you know, were put out there.
I was at the launch,
yes.
actually the show, and
yeah,
you did swerve me a few times because there were certain categories that I expected certain names, and those names didn't show up. And there's some other places where they showed up, and I was like, why?
Okay. Yes.
So yeah, you have a lot of explanation to do.
Well,
a lot.
Fortunately for NY, he was here with us, you know, when we did the first part of it. So I'm very sure for that day he had to hold back on a lot of things that, you know, he might wanted to, you know, chip here, that. But there's a chance for us to really go in there and understand the work that our research team did before they handed over to the board, where the board then had a tough job of selecting a few of them to cut it for the category. And today we want to focus and zoom in hard on some categories like the Afrobeat, Afropop Song of the Year, where you have certain artists whose songs are so powerful in there, as well as their brand. Then the question is, you the voter, what is going to influence your vote? There's no elections though, but what is going to influence your vote? Is it the song? Are you moved by the song, or are you moved by the artist? And even in this case as well, sometimes puts the artist in context with himself or herself. But how about we just give you a quick glance of the category Afrobeat, Afropop Song of the Year.
The nominees for the 2024 3Music Awards Afrobeat, Afropop Song of the Year. The nominees are Bad Boy, Last Minute, Broken Heart, DJ Viruski featuring Kwame Eugene, Case, the remix featuring Mufti by Mr. Drew, Cryptocurrency, Kwame Eugene featuring Rotimi, Liquor by Kiddy, Hosanna by Banzi Banero, Good Sin by Olive the Boy, Monica by Kwame Eugene, Perfect Combi by King Promise featuring Gabsy, Rent Free by Jackie, Terminator by King Promise.
Well, it is voting season, so you can start your votes right about now. It's *447 *3#, and then you can just zoom in to look for Afrobeats, Afropop Song of the Year and start your vote. But before you start your voting, though, the big question is: what is moving you? What is motivating you? What are you leaning towards, the artist or the music? And this is a conversation we're going to be having this morning on the show as well. But anyway, gentlemen, so. Even before we start, digging into exactly on product, superiority and then the brand artist persona, I want your general opinion on the list that has been shared by a research team, which is also now being refined by the board. What do you think? Was anybody left out in the year under the year of review?
Well, for me, I believe it covered most. Like, I believe it covered every single aspect. All the songs we heard are songs that deserve to be nominated. I don't think anybody was left out. I don't believe that.
Well, I don't believe that either, but definitely somebody's screaming somewhere that they were left out.
Oh, definitely.
So, so that's a given.
But, I mean, it was an Afrobeat year, if you ask me. 2022 into 2023 has been, predominantly overruled by or ruled heavily by Afrobeat music. So looking at the list, anybody in there again that we think that should have cut it for this category, or anybody in there that shouldn't have cut it for this category? I know these are tough ones, but we can have that tough conversation here on the show. So we can look at anybody in there you feel shouldn't have necessarily even been added here, or it's fine as it stands before we go into the competition itself.
I think it's fine. Like, you got every big song I think of last year in there, so I think it's fine.
The understanding, when you listen to all the songs, you have Good Sin, you have Liquor, you have Mr. Drew and Mufti, and then it's just endless there. Does it define what Afrobeats, Afropop in itself is? I mean, you're a music analyst. Yes. Does it define?
Well, I'm not sure what 3Music defines it as, because I remember GhanaMusic.com and Ghana Music Awards. We've already had this issue of why certain songs are certain places, and then apparently they go by definitions that they have come up with.
Well, so the generic definition here says, for the to make it the cut here, it says the most outstanding and dominant song of the year on the basis of its Afrobeats, Afropop. So it then uses the same word in there, including but not limited to fusion of fundamental African rhythms and pop. So now we hear Red Free, we hear all that. I just want to first get a basic understanding of rhythm, with that instrument, with the tempo and all, for us to see if these songs that we've listened to so far, from Banzi Baneros, Hosanna to Kwame Eugene's, Monica, DJ Varosky, and them's in there, whether it qualifies as Afrobeat, trying to understand the definition from it in the first place.
I think it does qualify, but one thing I'm very confused about over the years has been hip life and Afrobeats now, because most of the time you find the same songs, depending on which award show, under the same names, Afrobeats and hip life. So I think it's up to us to decide, are we going with hip life or are we going with Afrobeats?
He's raised points in there.
That's one thing that I'm always confused about.
What do you think as well?
Well, I believe for hip life, they usually add the rap element. I think that's what they use to differentiate the hip life from the Afrobeats, when there's a rap element, because some of the songs are confusing, like Monica. Monica, the way Kwame sang was like high life. You can feel the high lifeness of it, and the beat is not so Afrobeat, but you can also put it under hip life. So you rather do it Afropop and lamp it up. Even with Keys by Mr. Drew, the rhythms and melodies of the singing are not what you typically define as being Afrobeat or Afropop, but because we cannot put it under a unique genre or create a unique genre for it, because it can also go under hip life, we will just add it to the Afrobeat, Afropop. I think Afrobeat now is, I think, like the rap
becomes Afrofusion, becomes the differentiator in there. Anyway, I was just wanted to get these understanding, but I mean, you raised a very valid point there, with the hip life and Afrobeats, but it's fine. The rap can bring the difference in there. So in looking at the list so far, we start off with Lastmate, Jackie, DJ Varosky, Kwame Eugene, King Promise, Mr. Drew, Kiddy, Olive, The Boy. What is the competition in this? Who are the ones that we should look out for, to be very competitive, to be a very competitive brands, between themselves?
In terms of the music,
yes,
Gusin and Terminator feel like the runaway leaders battling each other because we felt the impact in different ways and different forms. Olive, new artists, that was such a massive impact. And for Kim Promise, Terminator was a defining moment in his career because he came off a year where he nearly got cancelled because he released a press release concerning the whiskey show and Ghanaians were angry with him. So Terminator coming in was more like the savior for him, and it kind of redefined his career trajectory. He moved from Kim Promise, who is like the Ghanaian darling boy, to Kim Promise, who is on the international front now, sending his music abroad and having people in Asia and the rest of the world vibing to his music. So both songs were like career-defining moments.
Okay, so you see, you touched on this is where it zooms down to our conversation. The brand's activity, the artist's activity away from his music influences the song's, performance, and then also the votes. Where you spoke about the incident that happened. Yeah. I mean, for Olive the Boy, he's maintained a clean sheet. He just started out. Nothing has gone wrong for him yet. People have spoken about his brand not being out there enough, but the song, overshadowing. But where do we lean? What are the things that can trigger which side or who will vote for? The consumer would vote for, because now there's Olive who just started. He's fresh, yet the song has gone so viral. And then there's Kim Promise as well, for example, who also has been there for a while, and the song has just, sent him to another, dimension. What triggers would then have an effect on the consumer, the listening consumer, to lean towards who, in your opinion?
Well, for me, it depends on feeling. For most people, how did a song make you feel at a particular point in time? How did you react to a certain song? I might love Terminator, but someone might hate that song. Someone might just be a lover because maybe he saw a guy with green hair. So it's different dynamics when it comes to the voting.
So what are the advantages? So what are the things that can make either of them? Because I just want to understand either of them, probably outshine the other in this category if it were left to both of them.
Well, I personally think it's just following. Kim Promise has following, and that's what happened. Like, let's take those two names, Promise and Olive the Boy, and put them aside, and then put, let's say, Shatta and Stonebwoy. Trust me, I don't think any fan of this person is going to go for the other person. It's just the personality, the people they like. That's who or what they'll vote for.
Does the multiple, or repeated nomination in the category in any way can dilute the artist's voting? Because Promise in there has got 2 songs. He's got, Perfect Combi in there, and then he's got Terminator in there. And there's Olive the Boy who just got 1 song. It's just Good Sin. And that applies to the rest of the artists. There's also Mr. Drew with Mufti, And
I think Eugene
also has a double. So does that in any way also affect them? And what do you think about it?
Well, I think it does, because someone might vote for Perfect Combi, which is also a Kim Promise song, because that's what they like, and they have the options to vote. So there's a possibility we have a batch of people who vote for Perfect Combi and others who vote for Terminator. So there's a possibility of a split.
Which songs would you have taken out on those who had 2 songs in there? So Eugene has Monica and Rotimi, one with Rotimi with the cryptocurrency.
I'll take cryptocurrency out.
Why?
To Monica, that's come on.
You have someone called Monica already.
Keep Monica and take. It was definitely way bigger than cryptocurrency. Definitely way bigger than that one. So, I would have, if I would definitely take crypto out.
And when you say bigger, by what definition, by what metrics would you personally use in terms of?
So I happen to go to a lot of villages where I see some amazing things, like stuff that you think are big here in Accra, and you think it should be known there. And then there's people who are nobody's in Accra. Then you go over there, and then they are playing their music. You'd be surprised, really be surprised. And even so, it's like just the type of music that they like to play. Now, most of the time, it's almost like they willingly want to play these songs. It's not like it's in their faces or in their ears when they go to the club, when they go to the radio. It's just like they willingly probably heard it once or twice and they want to play. So
I mean, a very great point is I want to understand what then makes Monica a probably preferred choice over cryptocurrency. Is it maybe visual appeal, what it represented? Was it too AI generated?
So usually when we are talking about stats, we usually facts and data science. One thing we usually forget in Ghana is the fact that we do not have readily visible data on the street, and usually I call it witchcraft. Because you cannot quantify, but it's there. It's like Shatawale. You might say Shatawale doesn't have a hit in the whole year, but when you go to the street, he has like 1 million hits. That's the same way between Monica and cryptocurrency. It's like cryptocurrency is for the chap in the Trasacos, the cantonments.
Is it the visual appeal?
But Monica is the sound.
The sound.
It's not the visual, it's the sound. Monica trickles down to the most simplest of people. My grandmother can kind of relate to Monica because the rhythms that it comes with. Hello, Monica, like the feeling. But cryptocurrency, because I think he had Rotimi, was a bit more refined in his composition just to be able to fit an international artist on it. But with Monica, it trickles down to the grassroots. And I believe that's where the feeling comes in, the feeling.
You keep mentioning the visual appeal.
Yeah.
Trust me, majority of people outside of Accra probably have never seen anything visual.
Can't relate. Okay, hasn't even for both songs.
Yeah, for both songs. Yeah, they haven't seen anything visual for both songs. Like, so I'm talking about people going to the farm to work and they have a small radio and that's what they're playing. Right? And it's like the most, it's a whole different setting on how they play music, enjoy music. And Okada boys chilling. Like the visual stuff, they don't see it. It's always, and they're sharing the music. Oh, have you heard this new one from here? And it's amazing. Like it's amazing to see because what we are doing here with TV, with promo, your promo on TV, your promo on, it doesn't affect them, but somehow they know what they want to listen to.
Yeah.
You have to see it.
When an artist is planning, or strategizing to, get into award schemes, and there's a category like Afrobeat, Afropop Song of the Year. I'd like to take us to think through what are the things you can work towards, because I'm going through and I'm realizing that one of the reasons why you were mentioning certain names and certain song titles that are louder than others is because they are very relatable.
Yes.
And there are things that you can go with. However, Good Sin was quite different when you speak to it. When we come back, we're going to look at certain artists like Mr. Drew's song, The Case, the remix version, Jackie's Rent Free, and how these songs went so viral. What were the triggers that made them go so viral? We'll just take a quick look into that. But quick break. When we come back, the conversations continue right here on the show. And welcome back to our 3Music Awards Diaries. I'm here with NYB and Xavier, 7 Xavier. Yeah, 7 Xavier. I'm putting the whole thing together. I'm throwing him back to his days, to his good old days. Yeah, we should put you in the hip hop. What's up with you and Cyril? You need to get back in the game. Your verse are very important. I need them. Let's take a quick run through, like I was talking about before we went to the break. Let's take a quick run through some of the elements and the things needed for you to be able to find yourself in this space? Now I'm running through the songs one by one. Last Minute, no, let me start with Jackie's Rent Free. What did it for you in that song to help it go so viral? Trying to recollect.
Well, for me, the first day I heard Jackie's Rent Free, I couldn't stop bouncing to it. The rhythm was very infectious. Like it had, I think that it had every element of Afrobeat, if I'm being honest, and that's what drew me to the song. The production was on point.
Shouldn't that make it bigger than Terminator?
Well, bigger is how people receive it.
Okay.
It's not my feelings. My feelings is not about other people's feelings, but it's how people responded. And I think she released it at the latter part of the year. No, Terminator was, I think, the first quarter.
Yeah.
And Rent Free was the latter part. So the reception was not the same. Especially looking under the year and the review. So
7, what about Banzi Banero, Hosanna? Another artist that, sort of is hidden in there. I don't know whether they can really pinpoint and tell exactly what triggers made this song go so viral, to become one of the songs in contention here for Afrobeats, Afropop Song of the Year.
So I think over the years, right, back in the day when you thought more about putting things out, my personal opinion, I think we had like 3 categories of songs. One was the club song, one was the worshiping God song, and I've forgotten the last one. But you needed to have these 3 songs, like 3 songs. Definitely the one that you're talking about, God or worshiping God, and that's the same way Aseda comes in with for Paluta. And Hosanna was that type of song, and it's like it never fails. it never fails.
It works.
It works, and I think that's the reason why it did. It never failed.
Mr. Drew took a very big risk, of having an open verse and putting it out there, putting an artist, that nobody knew on a song, that has so much potential that if he himself had maintained, 2 verses on there or 3 verses on there, he probably still would have gone that far. But yet still it cut it. You've had a chance to listen to the song. What do you think about this music, that gives it that viral effect to it? Is it the new artist on there, or it's the song is just vibely?
The best decision Mr. Drew did was putting Mufti on, because the original version did not pick, and I had a strong man in Sister here. And these are big artists, and it didn't go anywhere. But having Mufti, who was relatively new, and the way he sang on the rock, he sang like his life depended on it, and technically it did, because it's giving him the much needed push. The way he sang, and the verse was so relatable that the verse actually is like, for me, was the verse of the year. It was the
whole year.
Yeah, the whole year. That was like the
people said that.
Yes, that was like the biggest, because you could see market women singing to it, children, even me singing to it, and it was infectious. It was really infectious.
You've mentioned features, so the one with the feature, Rotimi, we've already mentioned that it has a certain niche market that it appeals to. Hence, we know that Afrobeats sits very deep with our cousins, as Olele would say, our Nigerian cousins. Was that in any way? Because if you look at the list now, these are all local features with either or no feature at all. But yes, these songs are so powerful that went so viral. Would there have been any much of a difference if we had our cousins featured on there? On any of the songs that we had here, either as remixes or as single, the original release. Maybe there was a Davido on there. Or there was
no. To be frank, I really wouldn't take anything away from, let's say, the labels, etc. putting money into this, because it's not automatic that if you have a Nigerian artist or this artist on your song, then that's it. No. It is not. So I'll also definitely give a lot of props to the labels for actually maybe doing what they were supposed to do and actually getting these songs to where they were. You were saying some of these songs going viral, but we all know there's so much money pushed into it to get it running before it speeds, where it goes viral. So yeah, definitely also, like, I think we can't really put everything on the artist and the feature they had on it. That would be very wrong.
So let me put this very difficult question before us then, you know, and that might just take us a bit away from the awards, for example. But we have all these great songs making it into our Afrobeat, Afropop song, and this is our, you know, within our space. But yet still, there seems to be a very porous border with our music that allows, you know, certain songs from other countries to easily seep in, and we've had the banter on how we can own our space, our Ghanaian music. Aren't these songs strong enough to build a wall of focus for the consumer that, listen, we have enough good Ghanaian songs in there to focus on?
Well, for me, the consumer loves what they love. I think I've come to realize that it's not as if we have a porous border, but we resonate towards a certain type of sound done in a certain way. And if if we don't get it the way we desire it, we search for it elsewhere. Like you mentioned, last year was a very great year for Ghanaian music. We had all these beautiful music and they were charting. We listened to them. This year, the sound has changed. If you realize, the sound that is leading is not actually even Afrobeat. It's kind of hip life. Let me put it there.
Hence the reason why I asked the question in the beginning about about the rhythms, you know.
So it means we are consumers who love what we love. If it's good and great, we are going to resonate towards it. If there's enough push tilted towards that same record. But the truth is, we Nigerians and us are brothers. Sometimes the feeling you can sense that their music from their roots also took inspiration from Ghanaian music. So there's also nothing wrong in listening to us. You can feel our forefathers being part of that sound. You get it. So that is and the level of investment that they put is mad. The amount of money they.
So the question was never about the quality of the songs we're producing. It was it just about predominantly about the.
It used to be about the quality, but I think we are getting to the point where we are gradually investing heavily into making sure our sound is sounding right. It's not as it used to be previously. We have people now investing a lot of money just to get that particular sound that can allow them to compete. So I think we've done well in getting the necessary investment. Hopefully we get more. So
would you agree with me that the two songs one of the two songs in here, two powerful songs in here that has gained, you know, attention outside our space was All of the Boys, Good Sin and Terminator. Now the big question is, why? Are these songs what is typical of Afrobeat as we supposed to know it outside our borders? Or there was some magic behind it? Or some engineering? What do you think?
See, I personally, whenever I see something, an artist, the song, I go behind what's behind that song with the artist. That would make sense why they are here, why they're going viral, why they're doing this. Because I know, and you and I both know, everything is about money. Like nobody is blowing off accidentally or because everybody likes the songs. No. So yeah, I think those two names are signed to big labels, bro. Same label?
Yeah, they're both signed affiliated to Sony.
Yeah.
So.
Affiliated to Sony. Yeah. So yeah, that's probably one of the reasons why, you know, they are in. And if you go through the list, Jackie's also signed to Sony. Who else is in the list?
Kwame Empire,
Kitty
Empire.
Yeah. The only person is the
Banzi.
Then Mr. Drew is
Mr. Drew.
Also independent.
Independent. So those ones to me, I say, big ups to them. They did their thing because everybody else in the category is basically signed to a.
Did All of the Boys Nigerian look, you know, the green, the accent, and in any way also add on to him cracking through, you know, to that market? Because we know we heard that in Nigeria he was topping the charts there as well.
Definitely, because we cannot ignore the Nigerian bias in Nigerians. I think usually we don't. They are biased to their sound. They've built a wall around their sound. So definitely it helped not knowing where the origins of that music came from. And Olive's trajectory started organically till Sony came in and blew it all over the place. Because in Ghana, unfortunately, the radios they were not spinning the song. It was just the TikTokers, social media influencers pushing, but radio wasn't even spinning the song till after Sony came in and made it bigger. So him sounding as a Nigerian, and in as much as most Ghanaians do not like it, it has given the boy a bigger chance of fulfilling his
What do you think about him as an artist, and Oliver the Boy?
Me?
Yeah, general perception
honestly
about
speaking, amazing.
Pen game and
I have seen him cook in the studio, and all I have to say is Ghanaians should really expect more from him, because he has a lot of melodies and vibes that definitely going to shake the system when it drops.
When you heard him on the which is not part of our list, when you heard him on that feature with Kim Promise, what was your general perception on his performance, on his how do they even express it, his verse on there?
Well, I had the privilege of listening to that song before it came out, and it was massive. And first of all, big ups to Kim Promise, because usually when new artists come in, they need this kind of structures to get that confidence. Because when you have a big artist featuring you, it has a different layer of confidence. And the fact that Olive the Boy's verse was actually the most spoken about verse proves that the boy is ready to compete, ready to stay, and ready for the market. And he just showed his the way he's amazing.
What are the things he should look out for as an artist? Because there's a conversation also around how his songs are so big. Asylum, which is a new one, is so big, and people are still struggling to find out, put a picture to the face.
Blame the label. Don't blame the artist. Don't blame the label. Don't blame the artist.
I agree.
Yeah, blame the label, not the artist. The artist did what they're supposed to do. Well, publicity and everything else is supposed to be handled by the label, not him personally. Right, and it's not being done. He's probably not on platforms enough to be seen. He's not on interviews. He's not on places where he's supposed to be, and that's why people don't maybe know the face.
Okay.
So yeah, the label definitely needs to do something about it. But like you're saying, he has huge songs, but you can't really make him out.
So now let's just be wrapping up with this one then. Let's run through the list again, and then let's look at on a scale of 1 to 10 the chances of hitting a 10 score, which is likely that you can pick it up. You can pick up the big award for yourself. Yeah. So last minute he had Bad Boys. What would you rate this on a scale of 1 to 10 within the category?
Well, for me, amazing song.
Yeah.
But his personality and publicity is non-existent. That's where last.
So the song has overshadowed him in this case.
Yeah.
Or not necessarily, but he hasn't done enough work.
Not necessarily, because he's a recognizable face.
Yeah.
But the fact is, the music is just the music. There's no personality behind the music. It's just the music.
Okay.
So that's where so it's hard for people to even talk about him when they're having these discussions.
On a scale of 1 to 10 then?
3.
3.
Yes.
7. 1 to 10, 3.
Yeah, 3.
I'll give him a 4.
A 4.
I'll be generous.
So it looks like he's in the dark. It looks like he's in the dark in this category. He's in the dark in this category. Yeah. He'll need his fans to push him up hard to be able to get the numbers up for him. Jackie Renfree, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think? Let me start with you. 7.
The females love it. Like the women really, really love it.
I saw that at the Pentel week. It was massive.
The females love it. Like I know what I'm talking about. So I'll probably give it a 7.
A 7. Yeah. A strong competitor in this category.
Yeah. 7.
What would you give him?
I'll give it a 6.
A 6.
Yes.
Okay. Why the drop?
Why the drop?
Yes.
Like I said, it came at the latter part of the year. So.
By the way, what's the name? Camilo. Did Camilo make the list?
He didn't make the list for.
What's the reason?
Yes. Well, anyway, that's a question I was asking. That who do you think should have cut it in there?
I just thought about it, like Camilo.
Because he had Adole as well released in under the year review. But so what do you think about that song not cutting itself into this space? It should have. Or what do you think?
Well, it was a nice song for me, but but looking at the competition.
So there's a hard conversation. Yeah. So there's a hard conversation with Camido, after the split up with his former manager, and how industry, has taken that, because you could see there's a clear difference in the time with George, and the rounds they did together as a team. in the release of the song that went super viral again. What's Camilo's song?
Sugar
Cane.
Okay,
Yes. Strategically also getting the feature was Mayo Kun in there, right?
Yeah, Mayo Kun, Darko, Can Promise.
Yes, and it just, flew and went into heaven, took them all around the world and back. And now he's back with the release, there's Adole, there's quite a number of other songs he's released, but it's still not given us a nod in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway.
I didn't know that. I didn't know this split, but it makes sense now.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Well, they had quotations, but anyways. So let's move on to DJ Vyroski and Kwame Eugene. Now, Vyroski also started worming his way up, from DJ to producer to artist. He just left with his verse, and then we know that he's unofficially an artist here. But what do you think on a scale of 1 to 10 with their song Broken Hearts? I love that jam too. But what do you think?
I'll give it a 6.
A 6?
Give it a 6. I think what worked for this song was the dance. And then the hook is very catchy. But I'll give it a 6.
So his whole vein is competing with Jackie's.
It's competing with Jackie's Rentry.
Okay. And 7?
I'll give it a 6 because if Vyroski was an actual musician, maybe it'll probably blow up a bit more, add more to it, But because he was a DJ, and then we have the artist being Eugene. I'm not seeing Eugene trying to promote that song over his songs.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. Song is a good song, but in terms of popularity, I'll probably give it more of a 6.
Well, so if you're seeing this, so it means that Last Minute is already in the dark in this category. Jackie, Vyroski are hovering around, the same level as competition. Now let's move on to Kwame Eugene's Monica. I don't know, on a scale of 1 to 10, his chances in this group. Okay, and why?
I'll give it a 9. I give
a 9?
Yes, I give Monica a 9.
That's a strong one.
Yeah, because I think that was his biggest song in the year, biggest song from the album.
Yeah.
And as Kwame Eugene, he already has the grassroots love. So in terms of personality-wise, he has the people. In terms of the song too was great.
Yes, 9. That's high.
I'll probably also give him a 9.
Okay.
Because like I said, I know apart from Accra, what it does in the villages, and like how it does in the villages, and there's certain. I mean, he got these lines in there that people will always repeat over and over again. I'm not sure what that exactly means to them, but
and that's why I asked that question again about some of the elements that an artist needs to consider.
It was brilliantly done,
and Kwame has that.
He has that, it was brilliant, and he's done that over not just this song, a bunch of other songs.
I think I have an idea who else will be in 9 or possibly 10 that they can be competing. But let's look quickly at Banzi Banero. Where would you put him as well?
I'll give him a 4.
A 4.
Yes, he had a big song. In fact, if I'm going to use the dynamics of what we share, the feelings, and I believe he had one of the biggest songs, probably bigger than Gusin locally, but personality totally non-existent.
Totally non-existent.
Yes, so I doubt it's going to get a lot of votes.
So the brand was missing out, but the big song.
The song over
the person.
The song over the person.
4. So he's in there with Last Minute. Okay, then.
To be frank with you, when he said his name, if he hadn't mentioned the title of the song, I would have been lost.
I think he knows this,
Yeah, so that says everything. I'll probably give him a 4-2.
A 4-2. Okay, all right. So then I see him, competing with Last Minute there. At least you're getting a fair sense of, categorizing the artists within their own groups. Let's move on quickly to King Promise. Now, featuring Gabsy, the Perfect Combi song. Now, I know, again, I asked about how you have 2 songs in a category, and will that in any way dilute the number of votes that you are going to be having in there as a voter as well? On a scale of 1 to 10, Perfect Combi featuring Gabsy. 7, let me hear from you first.
I'll give it an 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give it an 8.
In there?
7, 8. I'll give it
all because he has another one in waiting.
Yeah, I'm weighing it. I'm weighing it.
Okay. So what would you give King Promise?
I'll give it a 5.
A 5?
Yes, I'll give it a 5. Reason being,
how to impress NY?
So here's the thing. The song was bigger internationally, but locally it was just for the DBs. Yeah, it was just for the DBs, like myself.
As compared to Monica, right?
As compared to Monica,
the grassroots.
Yes, so that's why I'm going to give it 5, because the votes will come from here, not from average 3.
Okay. Interesting. I'll come to this analysis. Let me move on to Kwame Eugene again and Rotimi, the cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
I'm eager to hear this one. Let me hear from you, NY. What do you think?
Oh, the same thing, 5.
5?
Yes.
Okay.
The video is bigger than the song.
Uh-huh.
That's the truth. The video is way bigger than the song, and I don't think fans will see Monica and vote for cryptocurrency in this category. So that's why.
So we have counterment votes and other places. I don't want to say. So what about you as well?
Yeah,
He's giving a 5.
Just with the title, it just throws, you basically sideline a lot of the population, because cryptocurrency, they probably have no clue what it is, just by going with the, and like I said, if I have to weigh, the 2 songs that he has, I'll probably give this a 6, because he has Rotimi on there, which he managed to pull that off.
So given the 6 and giving it a 5, that puts it in between that from Last Made and Banzi Banero. But let's still push the ladder to King Promise's big one, the Terminator. I don't know what you're going to say, a 9 or a 10. Yes.
Oh, it's a 10.
It's a 10.
Oh, it's a 10.
Okay.
For me, it's a 10. The lyrics very relatable.
Yeah.
The dance.
Yeah.
Was global, local, and one of the most streamed songs, either on the traditional side and also on the digital side. And the song, different heights.
Well, 7, you went into the villages. What would you say the score is on this song?
Same.
10.
Same. No, I'll give it a 9.5. Because I don't think anything is perfect. So I'll give it a 9.5.
Okay, so that's the first one. And then let's go to Mr. Drew and Mufti. I really got to hear this one as well. Mr. Drew and Mufti with the Case remix.
For me, 8.
8?
Yes, 8. Yes, the song was big, but it was local big.
Yeah.
It was local big.
Yeah, it was local big. Yeah. It didn't transcend if it was like a superstar level of art songs. It didn't get to that side, but the song was big. So an 8 for me.
An 8 for you, and then 7.
I'll also give it an 8. But you have to know, I think he's done a really good job, because like I said, he's independent.
Yeah.
Everybody else that he's competing with is on a whole different budget.
Yeah.
Budgets of doing these things. So big up to him. And that was like after he left his old label. So this is him doing it by himself, and he did a good job.
We are almost wrapping up, but pardon me, we didn't speak much about him, because it looked very quiet and silent in the group. But Kiddy's Liquor as well in there. I mean, what do you think? He came back with a lie, that has already bagged another nomination in there, and he's got Liquor with he dropped this jam as well.
So here's the thing, Kiddy's Liquor is probably in this list, not just because it was played much, but it had 2 superstars on it, which is Kiddy and Stonebwoy. And that is the biggest advantage of this song, because now you have Kiddy fans and Stonebwoy fans who probably vote because there's no Stonebwoy song here for Stonebwoy. You get it. So that's the dynamics.
But looking at Stonebwoy's fans, do they really, throw their weight behind a song that does not belong to the artist? Looking at it in times past.
This year they've been doing it. Okay. This year has really been an agenda year.
Because the artist is, you have a point. Yeah, an agenda year.
There's been a silent rivalry going on between two artists you thought will not be rivals. But yes, but this year they've been pushing.
Yeah,
and that's why Liquor is Liquor.
So what would you give him?
Liquor.
Yes.
Based on the brand dynamics, probably an 8.
An 8.
Because they are
very competitive there. Then. Okay, so.
I'll probably also give him an 8.
Wow.
Probably also give him an 8. Although. Only because I think I expected more than they actually did, but it's a good song, definitely. I think he should have pushed more, because he's on a label, so I expected that extra push. Yeah.
Well, then let me stay on you then with the last one then, Olive. With Good Sin. I mean.
Okay. That is another 9.5, because like I said, you can't be perfect, So I'll also give it 9.5.
Great song.
Same thing that he says. Everybody knows the song, but not the person.
Yeah.
But in this case, I personally think that people will go for the song, not necessarily who the person is. That's in my opinion on this one. Yeah.
Anyway, let me hear from you.
Yeah. So I'll give it a 9.5.
Wow.
9.5.
Okay.
And just like you said, because in terms of the brand dynamics, at the end of the day, it's not just, we know as Ghanaians, we don't just vote based on just the music. We also based on someone has done Sakura, someone has, like this guy is cute. Those dynamics.
Yes.
And Olive doesn't have.
Just like how we vote for president.
Yes.
Yes. And looking under the year and the review, Olive did not have that presence. I think he's now gradually building it with the catalog growing, but he didn't have it back then. He might have some recency bias due to the current year we are in.
So then it looks clear like we are leaning towards All of the Boy, Terminator, Kiddies, Liquor. I'm surprised Jackie's Rent Free didn't cut it for 9 for you, but it's fine. It's okay. Bands Banero, you've argued that yes, the brand was shadowed by the music. People can pinpoint, but would you have some shocks to find out that he probably came out top, in the group, where he rallies up the fans on the ground to vote, because it's a whole 40%. It's board, academy, and public. Yes, if he cuts 40% in there.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the audience that he can reach.
Yes.
So then everybody in that category.
I'm wrapping it up with which of these artists is likely to have a strong fan base that should be able to push. Just in case you might think that they were given on a scale of 1 to 10, they were given 5 or 4 or 3. Their fan base can make the difference because it's just 20% for academy.
For me, I would say Can Promise. But looking at how the year has gone to, the Beam fans would definitely vote for Kid because of the rivalry. But Can Promise all the way.
Yeah, and
comes to votes.
Yes,
Kwame Eugene.
I
mean, have you been to Facebook? Kwame Eugene Facebook pages.
So you see.
People don't know, like, it is crazy. Like, there's things people don't, even like they don't even know, they don't use Facebook anymore, but there's certain things I check, and you go to the page, it's like 200,000 followers, and it's not a Kwame Eugene doing, it's a random guy set up a Kwame Eugene page, and everybody's following it. And I'm like,
so you see, great conversation, guys. Now that clearly tells you that it can get different.
Yeah.
Some might be expecting that Terminator might pick it up easily because yes, a very popular song. But the thing is that the voters can alter the conversation. Gentlemen, thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
Yes, we're wrapping up on today's diary. So back again here on 3Music TV as we're bringing you more updates in the conversations analysis, on the different categories and the nominees. And we out.